Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, aka Nifty Nomi, and welcome to my channel, Be That Business. I'm a Canadian bookkeeper and a new business educator, and I help entrepreneurs look under the hood to see how it all works. I'm fighting the good fight against double work and against giving CRA more money than you have to. Today, I will be sharing how I file the T4s for my employees who I have paid with QuickBooks Online's payroll module by using the Internet File Transfer in CRA's My Business Account. Be that business that files its T4s on time. Now, a few years ago, I did a YouTube video on how, if you're doing your payroll manually, how to use CRA web forms to submit the T4 totals manually with or without a CRA My Business Account. It also came with a handy-dandy spreadsheet to put your manual paycheck totals in to add up the full year totals of what you need to submit. And you can find that video here. I used to say that if you only had 1 or 2 employees, you can just do your payroll manually and track it on a spreadsheet, but I have since changed my mind. I mean, it's doable, but for me, even though I only have 2 employees, it is so much easier to process the payroll using a payroll app. Today, I'm showing you how in QBO, it's just a quick file upload and you're done. But it's even easier if you use a full-service payroll app like WagePoint and others that actually just go ahead and submit the T4s for you. QBO has a few extra steps, and I'm going to show them to you today. Let's get started. So for me, the first thing that I do before I go to file T4s for me or for a client, and it's not something you have to do, it's just something that I find very helpful and useful, is I just go onto either my business account, or if it's a client, I go to Rep a Client business account, and I check the CRA business account and see how much money, how many payments have been applied to the year that I'm filing. So for this example, I'm filing 2021. So I want to make sure that the total payments that I've paid have made it to CRA and everything matches. So we go to the payroll section here. That's one way of getting to it. And I'm going to click View and Pay Account Balance. And I'm just going to scroll to this section here where it shows the year, and it shows how much has been applied to that year. And if there's a difference to what I'm going to check to next, we can click here to look at all of the transactions that went against 2021. Next, let's go over to QuickBooks. And I'm going to go first to taxes. You would think it was under payroll, but it's not. And then I'm going to go select payroll tax, there. And then I'm going to go to, it's going to make me go somewhere else. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this tutorial. But let me show you where we would go usually. We're going to go to year-end forms. Okay. And I'm going to look at my T4 summary, and that's going to show the total that I should have paid to CRA and how much QuickBooks has recorded how much I've paid to CRA. So 2021 is up here, and I'm going to go View. So this is the T4 summary that goes on top of all of the T4s when you submit them to CRA. And we can see that in box 80, the total deductions reported, that actually matches box 82, how many remittances I gave to CRA, and that also matches the number that I just saw on the CRA My Business Account, and therefore I owe no difference. So that's all. It makes me feel good that everything's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, if for whatever reason the remittances in box 82 don't match what CRA says, it's good to figure out why and what's going on there, but don't let that delay you submitting your T4s. They're due February 28th. People want to see them, and these numbers will be accepted even if the remittance amount you don't know, you can't find the answer or whatever. That won't stop the T4s from being processed. If you have a payment that's gone to maybe a wrong year, you can always call and allocate it to the right year, or go online and request it to be moved to the right year. But yeah, so that's the first thing that I do, so everything looks good to go. I usually save that T4 summary to PDF on my hard drive, like on my backed up cloud, and I keep it. And you can archive it here though, or you can print it and put it in your file folder. And then the next thing that I look at is the if you were to look at the employee copy of the T4s, what you would see is that each one of them gets one page with 2 T4s, and you print it double-sided because the notes are on the back. And then the T4 slips for the employer, it's just every employee's T4, but not doubled up, so it saves paper, so that's the one I print. But this is where we go also to get our XML file to send off to CRA. Now you'll see it wants to put in a transmitter number, and I don't have the full details on that, but this is something I figured out a few years ago from QBO's website. It was posted that we can put in there 5555555. So I gave that a try a few years ago and it worked for me. So I'll show you the 2 ways to enter that transmitter number. We can click on it here. And here we are at the tax setup where I can put it in this transmitter number here, 555555. Just 6 of them, right? And I'm going to say OK. There it is. And it can't find the page I'm looking for. That's new. Oh, QuickBooks. I'll tell you, just use WagePoint. I'm sorry. Okay. The way that we would get there, let's make sure that that went in okay, is we go payroll tax. If we go over to payments, weirdly enough, that's where we get to the tax setup for payroll. It's just where it is. Not under payroll, but it's under here. And if we're in the overview, we can go to under taxes, federal taxes right there. And there you go. You can see that it's actually saved that remitter file, even though it gave me a little error. But that's how we would get to it manually the other way. And there's a lot of other preferences that you can set up for payroll here that people aren't aware of. So feel free to take a look. It's not where you expect it to be, but that's where it all is. Let's go back to payroll tax. Let's go back to filings, year-end forms. And now I'm going to go back to this T4 slips employer, and you'll see that that error is gone. Woohoo! So another thing that's good to do before you submit the T4s is you want to have a quick look at them first. And this is great because you'll also have the option to print them for your files, and you can sort of see them and you're like, yep, that looks good. The address is looking good, and nothing looks out of whack. Everything looks reasonable. Those aren't the T4s that you give to your employees though. And so if we click submit, it doesn't submit. It just gives you the XML file that you have to submit. So let's do that. Submit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the T4 file. I don't know why it says export, but anyway. So you can see that it pops up down here at the bottom, if that's because I'm using Chrome, but however you download files, you know, in whatever your web browser you're using. And here I can show in folder that it's called this. And I'm going to right click, this is what I do. I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to go to my folder where I want to put it. New folder, year end 2021, and then I'm just gonna paste it in there. All right, so I know where it is, right? I mean, you could just get to it from downloads if you want, but I like to put it in a spot that's not downloads. Like, I like to keep it for various reasons. So there it is. I know where it is. I know its path. That's the key. I know its path. I'm ready to go. Okay. So let's go, it says go to the CRA website, and it does sort of tell you what to do, and so I'm going to show you what to do. So let's go back to the CRA My Business Account. Now you can upload the XML internet transfer file either through CRA My Business Account or Rep a Client. But if you have not registered for a CRA My Business Account yet, you can also do it using a web access code. I've already done a video about obtaining a web access code, and you can find out more about that here. With your web access code, you can either submit the T4s using the XML file in the same way we'll be uploading it today on this video, or you can use web forms to submit the T4s and their amounts individually. You can do both with your web access code without having your CRA My Business account set up. But I do suggest that having a CRA My Business account definitely makes things easier to know where things are at, what the balances are, and all those sort of things. It can take a little while to set up though, so that's why the web access code is another option for you if you don't have that set up yet. I'm still in that payroll section, but if you've skipped here from a chatty part, let me show you. This is what it looks like when you first log in. And we're going to go to the payroll section. I only have the one payroll account. And under payroll, the section here, you can see the option file a return. So I'm going to click that and close this. And I've been here before. My last video is when I used web forms to put in all the numbers and all the SIN numbers manually. But I don't have to do that today because I have an XML file. So I use the Internet File Transfer, choose the file, and here's the file right here that I just downloaded from QuickBooks. It's the XML file. So I open that up, and then I just say, I'm not lying, and then I hit submit. Like, that's it, guys. Woo! So a few extra steps with QuickBooks, but you know, not that heavy. But hold on, this is what I do. Look at all of this. I want to go ahead up to the top, and it doesn't give me an option to print it, but darn it, I save it to PDF, confirmation of receipt, it's done, I'm happy, I hit save, and I save that PDF to my special year-end folder, just so I have it, but that's it. Now, it's not that's not it. You've given the T4s now to CRA, and now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we distribute those T4s to our employees. So the old school way is to just print them out and pop them in the mail. So let's go back to taxes, payroll tax, year-end forms, and then employee copy of T4 slip. We're going to click there. And here's where you want to go ahead and view so you can print them. And you'll see that each page has a copy of the T4 slip twice. So each employee gets like a full page. They get two, one to keep and one to mail off to CRA if they're doing income taxes old school. And then you print it double-sided because on the back they have like the notes on the boxes. That's the old school way. I don't like to email them because there's SIN numbers on there. It's just a preference of mine. And the other way to do it from QuickBooks is if we go, let's just go back. Again, year-end forms. And now if I select a specific employee from the drop-down, I've got them set up on the employee section. When I go now here, I can send to employee. T4 is there, it's done, it's ready for her when she wants it. And anyway, that's it. That's as easy as it is. So there you go. That's how easy it is to upload the XML file using QuickBooks Online and CRA My Business Account. It is like one or two extra steps with QuickBooks for sure. So there are other options out there that do the T4s for you. Right now, WagePoint's my favorite, but there's lots to choose from out there for Canadian payroll. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Instagram at BeThatBusiness, and you can tweet at me. I'm at NiftyNomi on Twitch and also on TikTok. You can find more resources and also courses about running a Canadian business on my website, naomiwilkins.ca. The video today was recorded in beautiful Gananoque, Ontario. Thanks for watching, and get out there and be that business that thrives.